podcasters, the fantasy teaching chums are back again. And like I was just telling Vic, I was watching the last episode and it just wasn't the same without me. So I'm back, baby.
I know you guys like him better. I said it in the last podcast. I know he's your favorite fantasy expert. But,
it's all good. Good.
We're back at it, like Mariano says, and glad to have him back after having a busy week on his plate last week. Yeah. But glad to have him back, and we're gonna drop some more knowledge on you guys.
Yep. With the yin to the yang, yang to the yin.
Exactly. Some bouncing of ideas and stuff gets the juices flowing. Better content.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna kick it off. You gonna run it back, but with the kickoff.
Oh, you didn't even tell them what our segments are, Mariano. Come on, bro. You gotta introduce it all the way. If you're gonna introduce it.
Y'all know the deal by now. If y'all been watching, we got Stardom Situm for the first segment. Second segment is Sweat or No Sweat, right?
What that is.
So sweat is basically people that you are worried about, really, to make it as simple as possible. And again, I got some good ones for you, so I think you're going to be in line. No sweat is people that's been a little challenging, or maybe there's an injury, but don't sweat. You be straight. You know what I mean?
Got it right on the nail. So, Mariano, kick it off, man. Since you've been lacking, I'm putting you to work. I'm getting my Mariano money worth this week. I got to pay him $50 a week.
$50, Venmo me. What? Yeah, so for my first stardom, it's Marquise Brown. So he's coming off of a 10-target game against the Eagles. A 10-target game, but this week he's playing the Eagles, and you know that the Eagles are horrible this year. So this week I'm starting Hollywood Brown for sure.
Yeah, he's finally waking up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Going on to my first stardom, I have Myles Gaskin up there in Miami. We know Miami's a horrible team, and we hate Miami on this podcast. This is the anti-Miami podcast.
Mm-hmm.
However, they're going up against the even more horrible team, which is the Jets. There's nobody on their defense that scares me.
Yeah.
And
that's the Trevor Lawrence Bowl right there.
Exactly. That's what Tank for Lawrence Bowl. But yeah, there's no one that puts fear in your heart on that defense. And I figure if he had a cool game last week against the 49ers, he'll run all over the Jets defense.
Okay. I like it. Myles Gaskin had a strong week last week, so he should do it again.
Yes, sir.
For my next one is Alexander Madison. So Dalvin Cook is expected to be out this week.
Groin injury?
Yeah, and Madison kind of balled out last week. He had 100 yards. So, I mean, isn't it crazy? You watch the game, and it's kind of hard to tell if that's Dalvin or if that's Madison.
But have the long dreads.
They got the long dreads, right? They both
20-something number.
Yeah. Well, he's Dalvin's 33. He's 25, but they look the same.
Yeah.
In the way that they play, their explosiveness.
Yeah.
So, Alexander Madison, I like him a lot. Start that boy.
Yeah. Hopefully Dalvin's not seriously injured, though, because I have Dalvin.
Me too. All
right, so going on to my next start, I have T.J. Hawkinson, and he's going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're in the bottom. I think they're like bottom 7 when it comes to covering the tight end.
Yeah.
So they give up points to the tight end, and they're not a great defense. They used to be, but not this season. So, especially coming off a bye week, a well-rested T.J. Hawkinson against a horrible defense. Let's do that.
Yeah, run that. For sure. So, my next one, which is the third. Ravens defense. So, last week they had a stellar game, and again this week they're playing the Eagles. Carson Wentz going to throw another 2 picks for sure. There goes points right off the bat for the defense. So Ravens defense, I had them last week. I'm starting again this week.
Yeah, they finally got their coming out game. They're playing decently, but this one's like we still the dogs without Earl Thomas. They put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
Going on to my next stardom, I have Chase Claypool. My sleeper has finally emerged, man. He's out from sleeping, man.
It's one game.
Hey, he's been doing decently in the other. He's been doing decently in the other games.
Yeah.
So Chase Claypool, he had a huge monster game, right? With Deontay Johnson out, Deontay Johnson is still in concussion protocol. And they're going up against Cleveland, which they give up the third most points to wide receivers in fantasy football. Yeah. So, especially if Deontay Johnson's out, Claypool's going to have another big game.
Yeah, I was looking it up, and Cleveland's 4-1, and all props to them. You know what I mean? But they ain't really played nobody.
I think they're a soft 4-1.
They're very soft 4-1. They're like Green Bay of last year.
Yeah.
But at least Odell is balling, man. I mean, finally. Right? I thought he was done.
I don't know. Look at this right here.
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah. So for my next stardom is Ryan Tannehill. So this game was literally on today. He balled out. He scored 36 points in a PPR league. It's a very strong game. Now, the biggest reason why I'm starting him this upcoming week is because they're playing Houston. Mm-hmm. And Houston is just rough.
Atrocious.
Abysmal. They barely got the win over Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think they won by like 14 or 15 points, but still, man, something's up with Houston. They just had the head coach change, so yeah, Ryan Tannehill.
They're for sure using that first round draft pick on the offensive line.
You would hope so.
Yeah. Going on to my next stardom, I have the Rams defense going up the Niners, who are struggling at quarterback. They're struggling to move the ball, and they just got 40-piece by the fucking Dolphins. The fucking Dolphins.
This was for a Raider fan?
Oh, marvelous weekend.
Marvelous.
It was great.
Weekend. Marvelous.
Oh, my God. And then, what the icing on the cake is looking at all the Niners fans that talk shit about the Raiders. And they're like, oh, y'all did good. Y'all, we have a common foe now. Fuck up. Y'all always talk shit every week.
Exactly. We ain't trying to hear that.
Nope.
So we beat the cream of the crop.
Super Bowl champs.
Y'all lost to the worst of the worst. So
with your starting quarterback.
Now, I'm not trying to bash on the Niners because they have had a lot of injuries, but really all that they're missing is Nick Bosa. I mean, you got Raheem Mostert back. Mm-hmm. You got Jimmy G back. Mm-hmm. You got the receiver back.
You got Kittle back.
You got Kittle. I mean,
there's no excuse on offense.
There's something off for sure. So we'll see moving forward.
But yeah, it's just if you're not a Raider fan, you don't understand the rivalry and we respect the Niner players and stuff, but when it comes to the trash talking between the Raiders and the Niners, ever since I've been in elementary school, boy, I've been.
Can I do a mic drop?
Go for it, mic drop.
Where would you rather be, Santa Clara or Las Vegas? Mic drop. That's it. We can just end the conversation there. That's it.
It's all love to all the Niner homies we got, though.
Yeah, it's all love.
So it's on you now.
For my last one is Jonnu Smith.
Was he my sleeper? Did I call him as a sleeper?
Yeah, you called him.
I called him as something.
Here comes a stat at you, right? So they just played their game today, which is Tuesday. It's the oddest football season ever. Scored 2 touchdowns in today's game, but in the first 5 games, he has 5 touchdowns. That's stellar, man. And you know that Ryan Tannehill hits a play action. He's going looking right over the middle. So it's either going to be one of 2 players, A.J. Brown or Jonnu Smith, that's going over the middle.
2 red zone touchdowns up that.
2 red zone touchdowns, yeah. So moving forward, they're going to, Tennessee just put a whooping on Buffalo.
Spanked them. They weren't even able to go into their facilities.
Man, so
I thought he was going to struggle because all his receivers either have COVID or they were injured, but
I kind of see Tennessee as this year's Niners, right? I like to draw comparisons from the previous season to the current season, and that's exactly what I'm seeing. Solid defense. They got Jadeveon Clowney rushing the passer, and then they're going to ground and pound you with Derrick Henry and hit you over the top with play action. They have the recipe to win right now. So expect that to continue to move forward, and that's going to continue to produce in fantasy world.
This is a good defense that they went up against too. This Bills defense ain't no pushover. They're a real deal too. So
right,
yeah, that's a good one. Going on to my next stardom, I have David Montgomery. Last week he put up a good week. However, I think his numbers were based strictly off of a touchdown that he produced. So he had a decent week. I think this is coming out week though. He's going up against Carolina and gives up the second most points in fantasy running backs. So if he doesn't get it done this week, he's not going to get it done at all for the rest of the season. But
there you go.
Yeah, I like David Montgomery this week.
All right, we're on to sit him.
Sit their ass.
Sit him. So for my first sit him, I got the Bills defense. And again, for both of these, for the first two parts of our segment, it's all about matchups. That's everything that I'm looking at week in and week out. And the Bills defense is playing against the Chiefs. Now, we know that the Chiefs, they had a rough game against the Raiders. Let me just put that out there. But they're going to come back and they're going to ball out. I'm telling you, Andy Reid, this is what he does. You know what I mean? He's going to devise a good game plan. And the Bills defense is a solid. I'd hold on to them for sure. Just let them ride the bench, but pick up a different defense.
Yeah, I got Bills defense as one of my sit-em too.
Yeah, I sit both of them.
Oh, I thought you were saying Bills. You said Chiefs.
Oh, I said Bills. My bad.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So we got
the same one.
Yeah, I was just saying wipes that off of my list. Yeah. Going on to my first sit-em.
Yeah.
I've jumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ain't rapping right now, bro. I know the mic is right here. Mario's trying to get
me in touch.
Mario used to be an R&B singer back in the day. How'd it go, Marietta?
I don't even remember. I hung them cleats up. I mean, the vocals a long time ago, man. Long time ago.
But yeah, man. Sorry, got sidetracked. Going on, I'm sitting Joe Mixon. The last two outings were decent. However, he's going up against the Colts defense. They're the number one defense in the league. And that O-line that the Bengals have is not going to do him justice. They gave up 7 sacks last week. I don't see him doing good, with that O-line, especially against the number one defense. So I'm saying sit Joe Mixon.
There you go. My next one's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is playing against the Ravens this week, and honestly, I'd drop him. I mean, he's going to score points, but you're better off streaming a quarterback.
Yeah.
And just kind of moving from week to week, depending on who's the matchup. I mean, you can get 20-something points out of Gardner Minshew or Ryan Tannehill.
Except when I fucking start him, he gets 10 points.
Well, you unlucky, my friend. You started him the 1 week he didn't.
I know.
But yeah, you can definitely find someone else that's on the bench, like Teddy Bridgewater. He balled out last week. So again, Carson Wentz, just drop him.
Yeah, so going on to my next sit-em. Speaking of Eagles, I have Miles Sanders. Simply because it's going up against the Baltimore Ravens, who
got off last week.
Put a whooping on the fucking Bengals.
Yeah.
So he had a cool game last week, but Miles Sanders hasn't been inspiring to me this season, especially against one of the top 3 defenses in the league. I'm gonna say sit him.
There you go. To follow up, I got Will Fuller.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah, so Will Fuller.
Little sizzle, little hot take.
Hot take? I don't know if it's a hot take,
he's been playing decently, though.
He's okay. He scored a touchdown. He only had 4 receptions last week against the Jags.
Touchdown saving his performance.
Yes, exactly. So for me, as far as the Houston Texans goes, I'm done with pretty much all of them.
Until they get a new offensive line.
Yeah, except for Deshaun Watson. Yeah. I mean, Deshaun Watson will put up 20 points just by working miracles that he does. But other than that, you can't rely. I had David Johnson as a sleeper at the beginning of the year, and I did not expect them to go 0-4 in the first 4 games. You know what I mean?
Like, being behind in games puts the game script horrible for running backs.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Will Fuller.
Yeah, going on to my next film, I have Odell Beckham Jr.
Wow, that's a hot take.
So he's going up. He's been playing some decent games, right? He came back down to earth this week. He had a moderate game. It was like 8 points they put up. However, he's going up against Pittsburgh defense, and they're one of the top 5, maybe 3 defenses, I'd say, in the league.
Yep.
They have a good secondary. They have one of the best safeties in the league.
Well, this is the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So,
especially with Big Ben back. I mean, we see that offenses can be a good defense just by keeping them off the field, keeping Odell off of the field.
Time of possession is a defense.
That's a huge, huge thing.
But yeah, sit OBJ.
Yeah. All right. My next one, it's another Brown. It's Jarvis Landry. So unless he's throwing touchdowns to Odell, he's not going to really put up too much points. And again, Vic kind of hit it right on the head, is that They're playing Pittsburgh this week. That's a solid D, man.
Yeah.
From top to bottom. So I'd probably stayed away from all the Browns except Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, it'll probably be.
Yeah, even then, Kareem Hunt's like a flex if you have the depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on to my last, because Mario used my last one.
Yep.
I got an extra one for y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all gonna be it's off the dome this time. This is freestyle. Watch.
All right.
So my fourth one is Amari Cooper. He's going up against a decent Cardinals defense. We saw what they did to the 49ers week 1. And also, the departure of Dak, of course, hurts his stock. I don't think the Red Rifle is going to be as, good as Dak is in extending plays and making plays.
I don't know, man.
Well, do you think the Red Rifle still got it?
Okay. I'll put it to you this way.
All right.
His last 2 seasons in Cincinnati, AJ Green was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Who was he throwing to?
Tyler Boyd and Ross.
Okay, where's Ross now?
On the practice squad, I think, right? That's where he's at.
All right.
He's
He had Joe Mixon in the backfield. Okay. He had a decent running back.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end. Who was his tight end? It was Eifert.
Yeah.
Eifert was hurt with the elbow for years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you look at the Cowboys offense, you couldn't have picked a better situation to put yourself in. You have talent at all 3 receivers.
Yeah.
Tight end. Running back. That team is stacked, dude.
Yeah.
So literally all you got to do is dink and dunk all game long. If you want to take away Amari Cooper, you got CeeDee Lamb over the middle.
CeeDee Lamb's eating, boy.
We'll talk more about the Cowboys later. All right, because I got some Cowboy shit coming at you guys.
All right.
All right, so for my last one, it's Joe Burrow. So the Colts he had a rough week. Joe Burrow / Jimmy G.
Yeah.
I'll leave Jimmy G. We picked on the Niners enough out. So Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow it is. Colts have a solid defense. Moving forward, Joe Burrow. I still like Tyler Boyd to start, and because Tyler Boyd is obviously his main dude.
Yeah, his main target.
That's his main
safety
target.
blanket.
Safety blanket. So again, Colts got a good D. I'm sitting Joe Burrow this week.
Yeah.
That's it. Only if you stream your quarterbacks. I mean.
And that Joe Burrow's, he has the passing attempts that you want, but that O-line is just atrocious, and he's just like the Texans. They're not going to be good till they fix that O-line.
Mm-hmm.
So look at them spending draft capital and cap space in the offseason in those positions for sure. My last one that's straight off the dome. It's more of a joke. Sit Le'Veon Bell. He's not on any team this week.
Hey, you might want to pick Le'Veon up though, because I know in one of my leagues someone dropped him. And depending on who he goes to, imagine if he goes to the Chiefs or someone along to the Raiders. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not the Raiders.
Maybe
I don't think that they're looking for that type of people.
The Redskins?
No.
The Texans?
No.
Who? Would be a good fit.
Buffalo?
They have Singletary though.
Who would you rather have?
I mean,
Singletary or Bell?
but
and he's a running quarterback. What if he goes to the Ravens?
they already have him fucking fucked up. That would just make it. I'd drop J.K. Dobbins as soon as that.
As soon as that guy goes. Yeah. I don't know. Who would be a fit? It don't matter. Anyways, depending on who he's in Green Bay, they got Aaron Jones.
And Jamal Williams.
Let
me look at all these teams. Hold on.
ATL. They got Gurley. Saints.
The Lions. They got Adrian Peterson as his number 1 back.
I could honestly see the Browns signing his ass too.
The Cardinals. Kenyon Drake isn't performing that good. That would boost him up for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Colts wouldn't pick him up. Patriots with Cam.
Patriots have like 5 running backs though.
Yeah, but you know how Bill Belichick does.
Yeah.
Le'Veon's still getting his money from the Jets. He got like $28 million for 18 games or something like that, and basically the next person or the next team that's going to sign him, they're going to sign him to a minimum contract because he's already getting paid by another team. So for Le'Veon, it's going to be like him double dipping this year.
Yeah.
So money for this upcoming team, whoever he picks, is not going to be an issue.
There might be an obvious suitor in the Giants because Saquon's out.
But if you're Le'Veon Bell, you really think you're going to go to a team
for
like the Giants?
one year contract for Le'Veon?
He
for
just
Saquon?
left the Jets. It's the same
That's true, yeah.
predicaments that they're in.
Maybe the Niners, since they have a lot of injuries issues.
Yeah, I think that if he does go to a team, it's going to be a playoff contending team and a serious team.
Back to the Steelers now. Just kidding.
You might. You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, so we got sort of sidetracked there. But,
Sidetrack. Anyways. I think we're moving on to segment number 2.
Yes, sir. Sweat, don't sweat.
Sweat, don't sweat. So I'll start it for my first sweat, and we kind of touched on this 2 weeks ago. The last episode that I was in, it's Julio Old Man Jones.
I got that motherfucker too.
Yeah, so Julio Old Man Jones injured. He was on the sideline this week, and the Falcons suck. They're just horrible. I mean, they lost their head coach.
Yeah.
And again, how many times I gotta tell y'all, Vic, and you included, Nick, it's Calvin Ridley show. It's the Calvin Ridley show. I tried to tell you at the beginning of the season.
He did. He told us a lot of things that we didn't listen to.
I didn't listen to it, but still, I still got it right.
He got it right. That's all that matters.
He got it right. That's all that matters.
It's definitely injuries are concerned. The emergence of Calvin Ridley, a new coach. Talking about getting rid of Matty Ice is not helping him. There's trade talks about Julio Jones. It's like his stock is just like plummeting down.
Yep.
Julio is still a great wide receiver in my eyes, but he has to get healthy, and he has to be the number 1 wide receiver. You can't have another number 1 wide receiver on the team.
Right.
Because a young wide receiver like Calvin Ridley is obviously garnering all the attention and taking away all the touchdowns.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. For my next one, I got David Johnson.
That's my next one. You just did yours.
Oh, for real?
Here's was Julio Jones.
I'm hogging up all the.
You want all the airtime because he wasn't on air last week, bro. No, just kidding.
That's exactly my thought process, man.
I need the whole segment myself now.
I need it. How many sweats you got, or don't sweat?
I have 3 sweats and 2 don't sweats.
Okay.
How many do you got total?
I got 5 each.
Oh, you got 5 each. You didn't hit me with
coming for the airtime.
You didn't hit me with. I'll give you your time. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So we're gonna. What you did sweat, right? So you want to stick on the sweat? I'll stick on sweat. Let's say sweat Amari Cooper, man. You don't want to sweat him. You think the Red Rifle still got it? We already seen it. He had a bad game last week. His
who?
Amari Cooper.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Andy Dalton. I'm like, Andy Dalton was dropping dimes.
No. He did drop dimes. I'm not gonna lie. Amari Cooper. What did he have? He had a league high 12 targets, right? Dropped significantly. He was a dud whole first half. Especially and he only had 3 points, bro. He didn't have his 12 targets. And now that Dak is out, Dak I think extends plays better than the Red Rifle will. I think his stock is seriously hurt, and if you could get something for him right now, I'd get him off my team right now, especially if you have the depth.
Okay.
Because right now you can still convince him, especially like if you bring up like.
Because we don't exactly know how Dalton's gonna play.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
For sure. You guys heard David Johnson. Texans are in trouble. That's kind of a boring one. The next one is Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb, I tried doing a little research on his injury, and all I could find is that it's an MCL injury.
Is it a sprain?
That's exactly what I was trying to clarify, and I couldn't find anything. So, Nick Chubb, I'd be a little worried about. He's a first round pick in most drafts. So, yeah, start sweating that boy.
I'm just researching right now, Nick Chubb. Let's see. First quarter, Chubb injury.
How do you look, huh?
I'm just double checking. Relax. All right, bro. It's your show. I get it. Fantasy Expertz featuring Vic. All right, bro. I get it.
What'd I say? with the MCL injury.
Yeah, it's not specific. All right, whatever.
Like I said, it's not specific. So I don't know if it's a sprain, if it's a tear. If it's a tear, he's done.
Yeah.
If it's a sprain, you might get him back in 4 weeks.
What if they say he'd be done though? If it's a tear, right?
I don't know. Maybe
Well,
not.
Hopefully you get him back for playoffs.
Yeah.
That's but yeah, unless you double dipped and got Kareem Hunt, then you're looking at it.
Out. I mean, someone else in your league probably got Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, it's looking like a sticky situation.
Yeah, like the one I'm in with Saquon.
Yeah, that was rough.
I'm just can't give you the money now.
Just yeah, man. Going on to my next sweat, I have Joe Mixon. As I spoke about earlier, he had a decent last 2 weeks, but the offensive line is just atrocious. They gave up 7 sacks. I don't expect him to have any more big games in the season at all. He's not going to have any more 30-point games behind that offensive line. And he's not going to be a factor. He's been like probably one of the most disappointing running backs in fantasy throughout his tenure.
Yeah.
Especially because he's on a bad team and the offensive line isn't helping him. He'll be good once he gets a good offensive line.
I'll run through my last two real quick.
All right.
Mike Davis, CMC's coming back soon.
That's for sure. You gotta trade him if you can.
Yeah, that's what dude in our league was trying to get over on me. I'm like, look, you know what? I'm 0-4 in one of the leagues. I don't like any of the trades that I've tried to get done, and everyone is just being outrageous. Oh, and by the way, hopefully you guys didn't listen to my advice at the beginning of the season to extend the rosters, because I learned the hard way this year with the whole COVID thing that waiver wires are so thin that I basically had the worst injury luck of the season with my first round pick going out, and now I don't even have an opportunity to pick up players because everyone's on the bench.
Yeah,
so.
And what you also didn't know is that you can't revert the roster size back. And I, as a commissioner, learned that the hard way. I saw that the waivers were thin, so I was trying to correct for that, right? And then in turn, you can't revert the rosters back to like 16. We had it at 19, so I was trying to revert it back to 16 and increase the IR, which I should have done from the beginning.
Yeah. Had
3 IR spots and then keep the roster size the same, right? But hindsight's 2020, you know.
Hindsight 2020. It's a learning mistake.
Yeah, and with this season too, it's like you see games are being played on Tuesday, so
right.
You try to adjust how you can, but.
Yeah, a bad call on my end.
Definitely makes a hard league even harder.
Yeah.
Especially a 12-man.
12-man league. So this year, it's kind of a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Another little side note. But last one is George Kittle. So George Kittle only had 4 receptions against the Jets. He balled out when he had Nick Mullins as a quarterback, and it's mostly...
Do you see my face right now?
I do see your face right now.
Bro,
yes.
What?
George Kittle. I'd be sweating, man.
He's not going to be on the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sweating. Yeah, I'm just really concerned about the quarterback position. They couldn't get anything going against the Jets. That's the reason why. Maybe it's just recency bias. That's probably what I'm seeing, is just their last outing against the Jets.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the fucking Niners either, so that's it.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little hot take right there. Might have to sound the alarm for that one.
Put a little steak sizzle.
Going on to Don't Sweat, right? That was your last sweat on. Going on to my first Don't Sweat. I have Juju Smith-Schuster over there in Pittsburgh. He had a bad game last week. However, I think he's still finding his role as a number 1 wide receiver. And Deontay Johnson not being healthy also doesn't help him. And then I think as the emergence of players like Claypool on the team emerge, then it's going to help him, not have those double teams, not have all the attention on him. It's not easy stepping into AB's role. AB is like a different kind of receiver, and Juju's trying to do that.
Yeah.
We saw his first week one. You know, he did his thing, but I think as just like if he gets more help, just like AB had over his time in Pittsburgh, you know, Juju will slide right into that role and be a great wide receiver one for the Steelers.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. My first don't sweat is the Cowboys receivers. See my face? See it now? Cowboys receivers, Andy Dalton looked like he had a good command of the offense, and as I touched on earlier, he's in the perfect situation. You have talent at every position. You have one of the best offensive lines in the game. You have one of the best running backs in the game. And again, I just wouldn't sweat it, man. CeeDee Lamb's getting off. Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper, they're going to keep putting up their points, I think.
It was definitely a decent offense to plug in a quarterback like a veteran like Andy Dalton. And
yeah.
It's just my thing was the extending of the plays. Like, Dak extends the plays way better than, of course, the Red Rifle's going to do so. And I only have another don't sweat. So the rest is all Mariota airtime. So I'm going to give him his time to shine.
All right. I like it.
My last one is Lamar Jackson. He's still in the. Oh yes, I cut his list short. No.
Yep.
He's still an amazing quarterback. He's dynamic. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league to me. I'm not letting these fantasy numbers dictate that for me. I know Josh Allen's having an amazing season. I know Russell Wilson. I know Patrick Mahomes. I know Aaron Rodgers. This guy's still a top quarterback, even though the fantasy numbers don't say so. I think the numbers will come shortly, though. He does have weak opponents in this division, like the Bengals.
And you got to remember that this is an off season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're still trying to get in the groove of things, man. Yeah. And I know that he was a little banged up last week. I still started him. And I'm just going to kind of ride the wave, like we touched on in one of our old segments.
Yeah, exactly. You got to ride the wave with him because he's too dynamic not to.
Yeah, absolutely. For my next one, it's Kenyon Drake. So he had a little bit of a down game last week, but this offense is going to need him moving forward. That's the biggest point for Kenyon Drake. Number 3 is Deshaun.
Oh, my bad. I'm just going to touch on that. You're not worried about Edmonds?
No.
No?
No.
It just looks like... what's the head coach over there? I know his name.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, there you go. It's like he's just. I think he's trying to get Edmonds more touches because he's sick of Kenyon Drake not having that explosiveness he had last season that we saw towards the end of the season. Drake definitely has the potential though. So I mean, that's a good one that you cannot, Yeah,
don't sweat.
Over exaggerate.
I was trying to steal him. I was trying to give up Lamar and Mike Evans for Kenyon Drake, and the dude kept trying to push over Mike Davis to me. And I'm like, dude, that's not gonna happen.
They always do that. They try to give you so many bullshit. I never trade with them.
Yeah.
Never trade with them. They just give you so many bullshit ass trades.
Yeah. No. It's just not gonna happen. Like I said, I'll ride the fucking last seed all the way through, but I'm not gonna make anyone's team go through the roof. That's just not what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be an even playing field. Like I said, that this was a down season for me, but it's all good. I'm not worried about it. No big deal. For my next one, it's Deshaun Watson. So the rest of the offense is sweat, but not Deshaun Watson. Don't sweat it, man. I mean, he's a magician on the football field. He's gonna put up points. He's gonna rush for touchdowns. He's gonna throw touchdowns.
Yeah, he's an elite quarterback.
He's an elite quarterback. Yeah, so he's gonna put up points, especially in fantasy. And my last one is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So Raiders just balled out last week. They played a stellar game on defense. They intercepted Patrick Mahomes for the first time this season. It was a magical game, man. Yeah, this next week against the Bills, I'm starting him. I got him in one of my leagues, and he's going to start against the Bills just because I like the matchup of the linebackers, him against the linebackers.
Yeah, it was crazy because the way he exploded in his first game, and then the last couple games have been like
it's been a little
quieter,
slow.
Yeah. But just like Josh Jacobs showed last week, he put up those 2 touchdowns, and he was like, "Nope, I'm still here, y'all. Shut up."
Here. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, he's a dynamic player, hilarious, and he's on the best offense. So don't sweat him at all.
Don't sweat.
That's it. That's all we got.
That wraps it up. It feels good to be back.
I'm gonna let Mariano talk some more because obviously.
Hey man, I was done. I was just saying it feels good to be back. That's it. Feels good to be back.
Go Mariano, it's your show. I forgot. It's featuring Vic.
That's it.
Just kidding.
So, from the Cheech and Chong Fantasy Podcasters to you guys, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and just keeping us constantly moving on the page as well on Instagram. Keeping Vic moving.
Thing's always busy. Always, you guys always ask. I get questions at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, bro, why are you thinking about this right now?
Yeah, I had to take my IG thing off and just because it was blowing up. So we really do appreciate it, though. Honestly, So moving forward, keep it moving. Suggest us to your friends, your family. If you guys don't know too much about football at all, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Right? I watch football all Sunday.
Yeah, me too. That's all. I don't do nothing
else.
I get my brew. I get my food. I watch my football, and that's all I do. I don't do anything else.
Mm-hmm. I get a few other things. You know what I mean? But again, that's what I do. I watch Red Zone. I'm keeping track of the scores. Yeah. FanDuel, things
Look at
like
all the
that.
highlights.
Yeah. So that's what we're here for, man. And
yeah, just know the numbers are getting steady, right? And the numbers are steady week in, week out. We have like a few people coming back, obviously. Fluctuates here and there, but we want to see the numbers grow, right? Of course. Yeah. So just, everyone that's watching, keep on watching and tell someone else, Yeah. Those couple people that we do have coming back week in, week out. We appreciate you guys, but we're trying to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the move. And, but we're grateful for any view that we get. If I was getting 5 views a week, I'd be happy. You feel me? Yeah. But, just, thank you guys for subscribing and telling more people. Subscribers are still going up too, and I appreciate that week in, week out. I just appreciate being busy with football stuff. That's what it is.
That's it, right? Yeah. And we try to be consistent with the content too.
Yeah, and we love football so much. We sat here like 45 minutes before we did this and just talked about high school football and
talking about the good old days,
our coaches and the games and stuff. It's just fun. It's just fun to be on doing this, talking about football, something that we both love. But yeah, that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Glad to have Mariano back.
Glad to be back, man.
The co-host with the most, but that's it, y'all. Fantasy Expertz out, man.
Laters.